Hello, everybody. Welcome to the training of Uniarch. So let's get started with the power presentation. So what is Uniarch? Uniarch is the sub-brand of UniView. What can we expect of Uniarch? Actually, what I would say is simplicity, because it's straightforward, very simple, and easy to maintain, because Uniarch has a few recorders and a few IP cameras. Let us start with the IP cameras. First, we have a bullet camera. Nice, small camera, very compact. Then the second camera is a Doom camera. I will show you the camera in here. And at last, the turret camera. Unfortunately, I don't have it here, but I guess we all know what a turret camera is. With these three cameras, we create the simplicity. So there is choice between a bullet, a Doom, or a turret camera. Okay, there is an option for each camera, 2 or 4 megapixel. You have the option of a 2.8 or a 4mm lens. All the cameras has an IR range of 30 meters. All can be used via a PoE switch or on the PoE of the recorder. All are also waterproof, IP67, and has advanced compression rates so that you use less bandwidth and less space on your recorder. The Doom camera is also vandal proof. That's good to know, because this one you can hang outside without worrying that they're going to destroy the camera so easily. Okay, next slide. The recorders. First of all, Uniarch has two different PoE recorders. One with 4 channels and one with 8 channels. It supports up to 5 megapixel cameras with a bandwidth speed of 40 megabytes supported, and various compression rates, advanced compression rates. So it has a VGA and a HDMI output. Mouse supported to control the menu on the recorder itself. Space for one hard drive, then also 4 or 8 PoE connectors for the cameras with a maximum of 54 watts. And on one single port, 30 watt max. That should be more than enough. Okay, it's ONVIF compatible. So if you have another brand camera that supports ONVIF, then it might be compatible. I say it might be because there are some different versions of ONVIF. In general, it works. It should work. Okay, then we can connect a USB drive or a USB hard disk drive. The voltage of this one, obviously, because it's PoE, it's 48 volt. And you have easy remote access via Easy Cloud. The next recorder. This recorder does not have PoE connectors for the cameras. So this model is just a standard model that you can connect 4, 10, or 16 channels. I guess you will say now, hey, where's the 8 channel? Well, we do not sell it because of the price difference. It's maybe, I think, 10 or 20 euros difference instead of having an 8 or 10 channel. So then I guess it's better to sell the 10 channel. So this one supports up to 8 megapixels and has a bandwidth of 64 megabytes. Also with advanced compression rates, VGA and HDMI out. Display resolution up to 4K. Mouse support, space for one hard drive. We can connect via web, CMS, a smartphone, and NVR interface. Again, also ONVIF compatible. USB and USB hard drive for a backup or to back up your recordings. This one has a 12-volt connection and also has easy remote access via EZ Cloud. Okay, how can we know what the references are for the camera? What does it mean? Okay, so I have here three model numbers. We have the UV dash IPC, and then it comes the D for dome, D for turret, or B for bullet. Further on the line, we have the last digit that counts for the number of megapixels of the camera. Then in blue, you will see the lens type. So 28 is a 2.8 millimeter lens and 40 is a 4.0 millimeter lens. And now we have the references of the NVR. Again, the first digit is the number of hard drives. There's not a lot to choose to. We have only models with one hard drive. I think that in general should be enough, depending on the hard drive that you're going to install in the recorder. Okay, so the second in green, that are the number of channels that you can use. Channels, I mean the cameras that you can connect. So it's 4, 10, 16, 4, and 8. The blue one represents the recorder, the white one, with the PoE connectors. It's 4 or 8. Also, like a lot of you guys need to have is the brackets. Okay, we have three models. We have the standard junction box to hide all the cables, make it very nice. It's suitable for outdoor wall or ceiling installation, and the color is white. About colors, I know a lot of installers like to have black cameras, but in this range there are no black cameras or black brackets. Okay, the next one is a simple wall bracket. The other one has a junction box behind it to hide your cables if necessary. Let's go to the next one, very important, the user quick notes. Okay, by default, the IP address is 192.168.1.30. Default username is admin. Default password is 123456. Default NIC 2, that's for the outgoing PoE connectors. Okay, that will be 172.0.0.1. Be aware, if your local network or the client's local network start with 172, your NIC 2, so for the cameras on the PoE connectors, cannot be 172 at the same time, because hidden somewhere in the recorder, they use a subnet mask of 0. So that means it cannot be the same. I hope this is clear. I will show it later on in the video as well. So, sorry, I guess I made a mistake here. I should write it down that I need to change this to live view. But anyhow, this is more about the camera settings in the recorder itself. Okay, so in general, if you have a new recorder and new cameras and you connect them, they will show automatically after the activation of the recorder. So in here, if you go via the menu of the recorder, you have select here the cameras, then you go over here, you open the settings, and then you have this image where to choose from OnViv, the UniView protocol, or custom. What is custom? You can use the RTPS stream for this one and select the directory where it needs to record from. So if you want to do playback via the recorder, again, click the right mouse and then you'll have the option for playback. And then you can select which camera you want to see, select the time that you want to have displayed here or for playback. And then using the web browser. For the web browser, we need to use still the old Internet Explorer, unless you have a plugin for your Firefox or for your Edge or your Chrome browser, then it might work as well. I'm not so lucky with those plugins, but I've seen a lot of people that are able to manage this. Okay, you have a nice login screen. Again, very simple, very straightforward, just like other brands. Then the access from the mobile app. Okay, to get started, obviously, first of all, you need to download the application, and then you go into the menu, and then you go to Systems, and then you have here in the network settings, you go to Uniarch, and then you can scan the QR code to add your recorder. Super easy. Sample from a screenshot of the mobile scanning the QR code. Oh yeah, obviously, your NVR needs to be connected to the router that has an internet connection. One thing is very important, shutdown. I know a lot, including me in the past, were like, oh, I take out the power and that's it. But we are still using spinning hard drives, and it's very important to use the menu to shut down the recorder. Why? Because the needle that is reading the data is going to a park position. So after that, the recorder shuts down automatically, completely. All the little LEDs will go off from the recorder. And then you're capable of transporting your recorder without damaging the hard drive, because all of a sudden power failure may cause device damage or loss of data. Okay. Next step, installation and setup via local recorder. Okay, this is the part that I will go and play the video. In this video, we would like to show you the first boot and activation of the Uniarch PoE recorder. So let's get started. When we first boot the recorder, we will get this prompt that you need to select the language. So we have Chinese, English, and Spanish. In this tutorial, we are using English. Then we select OK. So now we need to fill in a password. What is the password? The default password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Enter and log in. Please change the default password now. Okay, great. We're going to do that. First of all, enter the old password. Okay. And then a new password. I'm going to use for this video and testing a simple password. Okay. We can use an unlock button, and we're going to skip that for this purpose. Okay, in this image, we can see that we can download by scanning the QR code to install the application. Then you sign in and log in, scan the QR code with the app on the device so that you can add the device. But you can also do this later on. And in this case, we're going to do this later on. So next thing, time zone, format of date. So we're gonna do the standard one we can use in Europe. You can do 24 or 12, blah, 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 all the same. All right, okay. Next. So this is an important part, okay? Standard, it's DHCP enabled. I would advise, if you do this for the first time, keep it DHCP, okay? Second of all, when your network starts with 172, it will not accept it, because the first octet cannot be the same as the internal one for the PoE connections. So you need to change it. It's super easy. You just double click, or you click, and then you change whatever you want. Okay? And we press OK. Well, that's it. Next one, how to do the backup. Because it's possible to make a backup or exporting your video files to a USB drive or to a hard drive. Also in the video that I didn't explain, you can, in this stage, also lock a file so that it will never be overwritten. Okay, let's play the video. In this section, I will go over the backup and manual.
Okay, first of all, the recording. Okay, we can select the recording backup of all the devices or separated cameras like D1, 2, 3, or 4 in this case. Or if you have a 16 channel, you can select up to 16 channels. Okay, what type of recording you can select is normal, manual, or event. Okay, then file type, that's lock and unlock. Yes, there's also an option to lock your recordings so that it will not be overwritten or erased by somebody else unless you unlock it again, of course. So let's do, for the sample, search. Okay, so what we have here, we have all our recordings here, and we can obviously select the cameras and the recording that we want to back up, or simply backup all. Okay, so if I click here on backup, you can select your USB drive or any other different hard drive. Okay, so then you go backup or do format or create a new folder. Okay, so let's go out of this. Image, same thing, search for the images. Unfortunately, there are no images on this recorder, but anyhow, it works the same way as the image or the video recordings. Okay, next step. Okay, manual. In this case, you can select the cameras to be recorded at the moment that you want to. So in this case, you can see that it started. And the same way, you can also select one and stop this one. And the other one will continue. In this case, I will stop this one again. Snapshots. Hey, okay, nice. Let's make some snapshots. Start. Okay, nice. Okay. This for some other time. Alarm that we do not have on this recorder. So we will continue with the system setup. So in this part, we're going to talk about the system. Okay, basics, preview, time, holiday, user, network, and security. Okay, first of all, basics. What we can do in the basics. Here we can change the name of the recorder. Okay, so we can enter any name we want. And if you have more recorders in your network, you can give it a different device ID. Does it work different? No. You can have 10 recorders with all the same ID, but it makes it easier. Okay, and here you can also change the language. On this moment only, I believe in Chinese, English, or Spanish. Let's keep it in English, okay? If you think this pointer is too slow, let me see if I can do the other one. It's going fast. Ooh, I don't like it. Anyhow, let me put it back on 1. Okay. Enable password. You can set it off so that everybody can use the recorder how they want to have it. Okay. So this is obviously the logout timeout. You can select 1 minute, 5, 10, bop, or never. Then instant playback. How many minutes, if you click on instant playback, you want to view the images back. Okay, by default it's on 5. Let me see if I can make it 100. No, so it only accepts 2 digits. Let me see if 90. Okay, 90 minutes. It's way too long. I think 5 is a nice option. Okay, and here you can enable the startup wizard again. Okay, so and then you click on apply. Preview. I think this is the one that you most likely would like to use. Okay, so you have different types of windows. One window. Okay, so we can add here, let's say camera 3. That's the first sequence, because this camera has only 4 channels, so we can only use 4 camera displays. Okay, so and in this one it's on 2, and number 3 there's nothing. Okay, let's put number 1 there. It doesn't make sense at all, but anyhow, you never know. Instead of switching around your cameras in a different connection, you can change it like this. Okay, so then you can also change the interval, how many seconds. Okay, let's say I want to have it 20 seconds, and then it should move on to the other one. Okay, this is not it. If you want to have it in one window, 4, 3 windows, or 4 windows, you need to select it here. Okay. Also, there's an option of corridor. What is corridor? So if you have a vertical camera, like in an alley, for example, yes, you can view it like this, but then you need to have all 3 in this way. No, there is no other option about having here 1 in vertical view and the rest here in horizontal view. No, not in this version anyhow, or in this recorder. Maybe it will come in the future. I don't know. Please do not ask me, and you will see eventually when it's coming. But most people use the normal camera setup, and they will choose this one. Obviously, for a 4-channel recorder, it's very common to use it like this. Okay, advanced. Okay, in here you can select the substream first. So, in case you have very poor bandwidth quality, this is the way to go. In here, of course, time settings. You can also add a time server IP address in here. The date format. Okay, we can change it in the way we use it in Europe, I think, or the time format in 12 hours or 24. Obviously, the time zone. Click apply. Then DTS for summer and winter time. So I know this one is wrong. This should be always the last week of October, and then from 3 to 1. That's almost. Then apply, and also synchronize the time with the cameras as well. Could be very useful. Holidays. I don't think it's an option that you already add unless it's a private customer that, or it's in their holiday house, or it's in their private house, or when they are gone, they want to have it different schedules by recording. Okay. User. In here we can add a user. We can say the permissions from which cameras, and other options, what to use, like playback and minority recording, etc., etc. Network. This is very important in some cases. Okay, I always suggest to leave DHCP on. Okay, especially if it's a simple network like a home network, because one day somebody's adding another thing, or they will use by accident the same IP address that you're using. Then the best way is to select DHCP. Okay. This is for the IP addresses for the cameras that are connected to this recorder. For example, the first one can never be the same as your local network, because for the internal network, they are using a subnet mask of 225.0.0.0. So let me show you, let me give you a short demonstration. If I click apply, you will get this error message. So in this case, I don't want to change my local IP address settings that maybe other devices are not working anymore, because we are using a lot of fixed IP addresses for special devices that we want to use. So I'm going to put it back to, so it's back to 101. This is very uncommon, but for example, if you need to use an internet connection where you need to across a server to connect, then you use this, but it's very uncommon in Europe. So here we have our device that we have online. Okay, enable. So the service is on enabled, so I can view all my other devices from anywhere of the world, or I can share my device for somebody else to maintain the device or do some changes. So, and here you can very easily scan the QR code to add it in your application on your mobile. DDNS. When do you to use a DDNS, dynamic domain name server? For example, if a client doesn't want to use the peer-to-peer connection, but also do not have a fixed IP address, then you need to select a DDNS server. Okay, and that information you put here so that you will have always access via the DDNS server directly on this recorder. Port, I would not change it unless the port 80 is already in use by a different device in case of port forwarding. Port mapping, just leave it on. It's very useful, especially if you want to do remote services without port forwarding. Email, same thing. Multicast, same thing. I don't think you guys will be using this a lot. Enable FTP, same thing. Add the IP address, port number, how you want to upload it, but be aware of that your FTP server needs to be configured for this recorder as well. So create a remote directory so that you will have your images directly on that one. Okay, depending on the network, if you have a fast upload, you can use it. If it's slow, don't use it. Okay, it will affect your other businesses online. Last thing, security. Well, you can control the IP addresses. If you do have to connect remotely, I will not advise to do this. Well, unless you want to have a blacklist. But a whitelist is very, very secure. But then again, if you want to connect from a remote computer from anywhere in the world and your IP address is not in the list, you will be not able to access it. So better use the blacklist if you want to use it. Okay. OnVIF, well, you can enable it or disable it. Depends on if you want to have some other OnVIF cameras on this recorder that are not from Uniarch, but you need them because it's special. You cannot use the basic stuff. This is for your network IP address. Well, nothing special. Watermark, nothing special. So you can also select the enhanced password, or that you can use a friendly password. In general, I would use the enhanced password. That is a little bit more complicated, a little bit less easy to hack. All right. So that's it for this part of the system settings of this recorder. So now the part of storage, recording. In this part, we can select the camera, 1, 2, 3, 4 in this case, because it's a 4-channel recorder. We can enable the schedule, yes or no. Then we can select which one we want. Okay. So if we want to have it on motion, let's say on Monday from 8 to 6. Very easy, okay? Because in the night I want to have 24/7 recording. Okay, so in this board you can also say motion and alarm, right? And then you apply. Very easy. I don't think there's much to explain here. Anyhow, let's go to snapshot. This again we can schedule. Also select the camera, what you want. We go fast forwarding to the hard drive. What can we do here? We can change the configuration to write or read, read only or read and write. There are no other options. Very simple. And here we can see also the space that are used for the recording. Camera 1 just 27 gigabytes. 2, 25, so a little bit less in motion. I guess 3, there's nothing, there's not connected. On 4, I see, yes, there are. Advanced, what needs to happen when the hard drive is full? Override or stop? Well, depending the situation. And also, if you locked and secure the recordings, you can do stop or overwrite. It will not overwrite the recordings that you have locked. So fast forward to alarm settings. Okay, in the alarm settings we will find motion. Well, everybody knows how motion works and how to select it. Okay. And the sensitivity, okay, very sensitive or in the middle. Depends on your experience, how you want it. Depends also if it's outdoor or indoor, okay. Outdoor, there will be a lot more movement from wind and trees and other flowers that's wiggling around. All right, next up, tempering. We want to have temper detection. What if a camera doesn't support this? Does this one? This one support it. This one, by the way, is a camera for outside. It's got the vandal protection, and again, here you can select the sensitivity as well. Video loss, trigger actions, alarm schedule, etc. Very useful. There is no other camera connected with the alarm in and out. Alert. When do we want to have an alert and what needs to happen? Okay, buzzer, send email, pop-up window. Most direct noticeable will be the pop-up window and the buzzer. Yes, if you have a screen connected to the recorder, the pop-up window is very useful, and the buzzer as well. Email depends on how often you read your email, but anyhow, you can select all. Same thing for network disconnected. I don't know why this send email is here, but it will never work because the network is disconnected. Anyhow, that's the way it is. Disk offline. A disk is not working normally. Illegal access. Also, when somebody has entered the password like 5 times, you will get a notification or a buzzer or a pop-up. So it's very, or again, select your email address. Very useful. In case you got hacked or somebody wants to enter and try too many times, you can see, you can have an alert. So be aware of that and change your password. Running out of space, in case you do not have override selected. Okay, how much space is used? Recording and so when there is an issue with abnormal recordings, it doesn't go smoothly anymore, you can also have a buzzer and an email be sent, and you cannot select pop-up window. Buzzer. Okay. What? How many seconds does the buzzer needs to ring? I mean, we all have like set up recorders and it's constantly like buzzing. So you can select, okay, 110. Is that even possible? Okay, it is possible. Don't do it. 1, better for this case. Okay, so that's the part of the alarm.
Well, in general, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, this is the nicest thing of Uniarch. It's really simple, and that's why I also, in the beginning, explained that it's more about simplicity. I bet if you have two simple shops with a system ceiling, you'll be able to do 2 installations in one day. Okay, let's continue in the next video. Camera setup via the recorder.
In this video, we're going to talk about the camera settings in the recorder. Okay. So what we do have here, we have camera, encoding, snapshot, OSD, on-screen display, image, privacy marks, and PTZ. In here, we see that we have 2 cameras connected with the UniView protocol. In here, you can change to any other camera that supports the UniView protocol, or OnViv or custom. In custom, there will be an RTSP stream. What you can edit in the custom protocol. In general, if you want to use it, you need to edit first the custom protocol. And where we can do it over here. Okay, so here we can set the path of the camera to be able to get the main stream or the substream, but that will be provided in general by the manufacturer of the camera that you want to connect via the RTSP stream. Okay, we go back here, and so that's it basically, because any Uniarch camera that you connect to this POI connector on the recorder will be automatically detected and added into the recorder. It's very, very simple. Advanced, we can do here some advanced stuff like set it back to default, or upload by cloud or by disk the firmware. So you can upgrade your cameras via USB drive, add the firmware in the USB drive, and then select the firmware and upload it. Very, very easy. Okay, next thing, encoding. Okay, this is your encoding, how to be recorded with stream, substream, full HD, the codec, of course. I always recommend to use the 265 codec, and also in advance. This will save you a lot of space on your hard drive and also on your stream. Okay, so in case of substream, again, use this advanced mode, and depending on your connectivity, but in case you have a very bad connectivity, set the resolution low, also the frames per second, and actually put that on 4. With 12 frames per second, it's still fluent, but it will be fluent. And if you have a bad connection on your mobile device, because you're too far away, that 12 frames per second can give you no image at all, or a very poor image or very stuttering image. So if you lower the frames per second, the more better reception or video you will get. Okay, so, and of course apply, and this you can do for the cameras that you have connected. You see, in this case I have only 2 cameras connected, so I can only edit those 2 cameras. Again, snapshots, very easy, straightforward. On-screen display, change the format, how do you want it? Okay, show time, show name, well, then you need to give the camera a name, depending on where you have it, outside, inside, office 1, so that will be displayed over here. Okay, and then of course apply. Next, image. Oof, this is nice. So if your image is like over saturated with light, or you can adjust everything you want. Even you can rotate the image like 180 degrees so that you can select the view of a corridor in a hallway. Very nice. Okay. Exposure, white balance. In general, I would say leave it on automatic. If you have issues with the quality, you can adjust it. Next thing, privacy mask. Obviously, when we have a camera outside, we don't want to film what's happening in the neighbor's window or house. So what you do first is select it, draw an area, and this one would be saved. So you will no longer see this in your recordings. Right? PTZ, no. We don't have any camera connected with a PTZ. On this moment in the Uniarch range, we do not have a PTZ. I hope it will come soon. So this is the last part, because I want to discuss the maintenance and the shutdown in this video. So let's get started. System info. In here we see the basic info: model number, serial number, firmware version here, the build date of the firmware version. Whenever you have an issue with your recorder, in general, I would like to have this information. It helps me a lot, because in case your issue is related to the firmware, I can directly say, hey, here's the new firmware, please update your recorder. All right, so next up is the camera. Okay, in here we see that the motion is triggered. Here, many kind of information, what is on or off in the cameras. Recording, type of recording. Online users, we have one user online. The disk. Okay, we have here 800 something gigabytes left. So very straightforward. Network info. Well, this is nice. We can exactly see the activity on the network, but we can do nothing with it. Only when you see there is too much, okay, see what is going on. Okay, maybe there are too many people connected on the device, or maybe somebody is downloading it what you didn't notice before. Okay. A network. You can see all the network information. Very simple, very straightforward. This is the nicest part. You can see the consumption of the power of each outlet. So in here you see that camera 1, or that's connected to outlet 1, is not consuming so much. This one, the other hand, is consuming more. So we have a total power of 54 watt. So we have plenty to spare. So if you're using a very heavy camera like a PTZ and all the infrared lights are on, you can reach the limit very easily. Well, I don't think so with the 4, but with the 8, yes. Always calculate it. Always use 80% of the maximum power that is given by the recorder. So make your calculations before you go and install the system at the client side. So here's some other bandwidth statistics or network statistics. Log. You can see all the types of logs or events that happened. Okay, operations, all times, login. So you can see the times that people logged in, etc. Can you see the details? Okay, username admin. So if you created more than one users, You give several people access to it. You can see, okay, what they're doing. They're watching my cameras all the time, or hey, they don't judge the cameras at all. So this is for your information. Import, export. This is for exporting your settings or other. Import, export. Here you can import or export your settings. There's notice history. You can also export this to your drive, your USB drive. Very easy. Restore. Default. Very easy. Put this back to default, but keep the current network and user settings. Very useful after an update, because after you update the firmware of a recorder or any camera, please do use default. Okay, because of the new structure in the new firmware, some things might work differently. So this always. So and anyhow, if things are working, there is a new firmware, and you don't need the new features, or you don't need to fix anything. Do not use it. All right. And default factory, of course, everything is gone, and you can start from scratch again. Auto function, auto restart. Never. Every day, every Monday, so you can select the hour. Be aware of when you do it. I would never do it at 2 o'clock in the night, because then you are sleeping. And if somebody knows that the recorder is rebooting at that time, you know what's going to happen, right? And by the way, restarting is a good thing, but make sure that you are there when the recorder is rebooting. Because if there is a failure in the reboot process, you will notice this directly. All right. So auto delete files. How many days? In some countries, you're only allowed to record 7 days. So what you put, 7 days. Apply. So now automatically, all my files older than 7 years will be deleted. Very nice option. It's good to keep in mind. Upgrade, same story. Also upgrade by cloud. I can do check. Let me see. I think there's no need. A newer one, okay. Last, hard disk. You can do a test with this one. You can see that, hey, mine is healthy. The temperature is 44 degrees. etc. We see that's a Western Digital hard drive. And it looks okay. So anyhow, if you have issues with imagings of videos that are not nice or corrupted, you have some green blocks in your videos when you do a playback or whatever, or if you download it and it comes out wrong, you can do a check if it's the fault of the hard drive. If it's the fault of the hard drive, please do change it, because you don't want to be in this nightmare that something important happened and you need to identify the issue on that moment. Okay. So here you can do the check of the hard drive. So you can do detect. I'm not going to do it because it might take some time. So the last one, shutdown. Shutdown. I know a lot of people just plug out the power. That can lead to damages of the hard drive or even damages of the videos that's on the drive. So especially if you're going to transport the recorder with the hard drive still inside, do a shutdown. What happens in the shutdown? It will park the needle of the hard drive so that it cannot damage the hard drive itself. There you go. So what's next? Restart or log out. Okay. So, well, I think this is the last episode of the how to configure my Uniarch recorder with the monitor connected on the recorder. And well, I hope you learned something, and I'm going to log out. See you next time.
In the EZ tools, in the description, or we can send you later on, or via the webpage, you can download also the EZ tools. What we can find in the EZ tools are the device configuration, channel configuration, upgrades, maintenance, NVR, and calculation. Calculation is about the space, and also the network activity of how many gigabits of stream they are using on the network. In general, it looks very similar to other programs you use for other brands. Okay, let me skip fast forward. So this is how it looks like, where you can have the operations, what you can select. One is the details of the device. Two is modify IP address, change the password, the configuration, direct link to the Internet Explorer with the IP address of the device that you have selected, and the status of the cloud services. You will see these operations many times in any state. And at some moments you can do more, and some moments you can do less. So here you have some samples. For example, if you want to edit the camera, you can do that also via these EZ tools. So you select the source and the encoding, on-screen detection, and the motion detection. Then the upgrade, same story. If you select upgrade, you will see the devices. You click on upgrade here below. Let me put on the pointer. Okay, so if you have here the upgrade button, you will see the devices, and then you can select the file to upgrade the cameras or the recorder. Maintenance is for restart, restore, and auto maintenance. Again, almost the same icons for operation, device details, configuration, reboot, and the status of the cloud services. And VR tools. So in here you can add the devices what you see in your network on in this program. Bandwidth and disk calculation you can do in the last option. So over here you add the cameras. You can select the compression. You can select, let me see, this screen is big, the resolution, frame rate, and if you use the advanced codec or not. And then you add, and also on the right side you can see the recording times in days, and you can select also the number of terabytes in your recorder. So very easy tool to use. So that's it. Let's move on. Control panel. This is the common panel of the AZ station. Again, the AZ station you can also download via the product page of the Uniarch products. So you have here the option of live stream, playback, video wall that doesn't exist for Uniarch, alarm, audio, people counting, again, doesn't exist for Uniarch. This tool is shared by obviously UniView, and they have the option of these features as well. Okay, device management, that's possible. Access control, not for Uniarch. So the basics: you have EMAP and the view to create a personal view of the different devices that you have selected. So it could be from different recorders or different cameras that are directly connected to the network without recorder. Alarm configuration, system configuration, sequence of changing the images of the cameras, user management, recording schedule, and operation log. You have also the live view So in here you can change the frequency of the images that needs to change to the other ones. If you have, in this case, we have selected 4. Maybe if you have 8 cameras on this view, it will switch on to the other 4. All right. What more? Obviously the play button. Then the layout could be up to 64 cameras. You can save a view that you specify for yourself. And 5 is close all windows. Then 6 is a screenshot of the selected cameras that you are viewing on that moment. And then 7 is start recording, and 8 is stop recording. Okay, this is an extra window that you can see if you want to change the seconds for the interval. Next one, playback. So in here, we select the camera and the recorder. Over here, we select the time and date, obviously. And then in here, we select the layout, just like the live view. And then we have the play button, stop button, and synchronize playback. And then in 5, we can download the images. And here is a pop-up that you can see which one you can select to download. Device management. Here I have a sample from the devices that I have connected to my cloud account. Your cloud account will be displayed here. If you just added one, you can refresh, or you can switch also to a different account. If you have multiple accounts, you can see the device details and you can exit as well. Here you see the device that I used for testing. You can edit it and change the configuration, and you can view also in the Internet Explorer, and here you can reboot it. So here the different options in field number A, encoding devices, decoding devices, cloud devices. That's the field that we are in right now. Then also access control, not for Uniarch right now, and network keyboard as well, not for Uniarch right now. In the B, you will see your account like we discussed before, and in C, we select the category of options: editing the device name, configuration, etc., and the link to the device page, and restart the computer. Oh, sorry, the recorder or the camera that has been selected. Let's move on to easy remote access. This link will guide you to the web page to log into your EZ account. Use your credentials, or if you do not have an account yet, you need to create one. So once you have entered your account, you can see over here your devices that are registered in your account. In here, you can also add different clients or different locations, depending of choice. Via here, you can also share your device. So in here, you have the icon of sharing your device. So if for example, if you are the end user and you're having issues with the quality, or you want to lower the substream because the client has always bad connection on his mobile, you can do that via here. You can change, or you can share your device with the guy that is maintaining the devices. Maintenance. Okay. Well, again, simple example. Here you have your devices. You have your devices, and here you have the option to view the devices that are shared with you. So if you click on the device that you want to configure, you will get a pop-up in a new tab of your Internet Explorer, and it will just look like you're configuring your recorder that's on your local network. In here, a sample of a device that is shared. I blurred the name and the IP address. because I think those things are private. Anyhow, without just any port forwarding, you can access this recorder by just clicking on the E of the Internet Explorer, and you will have all the options. Obviously, if you have an administrator account or login that you're going to use, if your client is deciding to give you a view-only account, then you can do nothing. But obviously, when you have the administration account, you can change all the settings like it was be local. The EZ Live app. Personally, I like this application more, but you need to find out for yourself, I think. Let's the home screen. It's very simple. You see directly the images of the recorder or the camera in this case. Live view, very fast and very smoothly. Then easy view of the pass, the recordings. So you can see the normal recording and the motion detection, or when there is any alarm, depending on the model number of the camera that you use in this case. Then you also can share your recorder via this application. Super easy for maintenance or for just a family member if you are on holiday that can watch your cameras. And alert messages in real time. So if there is a motion detection or an alarm or etc., depending again on the type of camera that you use for this application. Okay, I hope everybody enjoys this video. I hope it was a useful one, and let's see how we can install these devices. And don't forget, you can always reach me out by phone or by email, and I will try to help you as soon as possible, right? Okay, and then thank you for listening, and hope to see you by next training. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want to know more about our security products, subscribe to the Visiotech channel and activate the notifications to always stay updated on the latest videos.